that when we sent out the budget memo in December, we projected the fact that if we had revenues of $46.7 million, that would permit us to budget with cuts essentially across the board at the 23% cut level. Some entities were at 0, but others were at 23%, and some were in between. Now that we have, and if we were to spend or appropriate all of the 47.7, so we have effectively almost exactly $1 million more than that 46.7, we could afford 47.7. So if we wanted to spend all of that money without holding any money back for a rainy day fund in any way, shape, or form, we would have another $1 million to throw at the 23% cuts. I think coming with my math quickly, so that what that means is essentially on a $48 million budget, that's a little bit more than 2% of that number additional. So it sounds like we could reduce those 23% cuts down somewhat. I think probably to 15 to 20 ballpark.
If you reduce,
when you do that,
if you basically did everybody to 15, save some of those departments that said we can't take any less, and it depends. I don't know quite what the sheriff came in and asked for. I think they asked for 16.1. But if they did that and then everything else relatively held flat, then yes, 15% cut would do it. Then you get into the trade-off of who wants more, who wants less. So you could say you could cut.
No one wants less.
No one wants less, right? So you could say, well, we'll cut just the criminal justice and keep the sheriff kind of more fully funded by 10%. And then everybody else take about a 20% cut. So,
like so the fund begins. I mean, you know,
that's where the fund begins.
The one large increase that we saw in our budget hearing was even the Board of Elections came in at another $500,000 plus over 2011 levels, and that was based upon the anticipation that in a presidential election going back to 2008, even looking at their numbers, their proposed 2012 budget is less than their 2008 presidential budget, but they, I think, provide fairly good justification that they're going to need substantially more money in 2012 than they did in 2011, based upon the fact that it is a presidential election.
Versus
so
a municipal election, which is the smallest.
That's one large jump that I know, which creates the fun factor.